All right, for my next interview, I'll be talking to my good friend Sabrina Falco, a senior marketing major here at Bonaventure. Sabrina, I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about your internship that you were working on this summer.
So my internship was in Rochester, New York, and it was for a company called Westside Medical Supply, and they have two locations in Rochester, but one is on the west side of town, which is like, you're familiar with Rochester, like Greece, Brockport, Spencerport areas, and then the other side is the east side, so it's more of like Pittsford, Victor area, and Henrietta. So I worked at the west side location all summer, and I was there 4 days a week, basically working on their marketing stuff. So I did certain things like I kept up with their Instagram, as well as their Facebook, linking those two together and posting about like promotions that they were having. So as a medical supply company, they sell anything under the sun that you can think of medical supplies. So like they do ramp installs, they do elevator installs, but they also have like those like special shoes that you need, or like lift chairs, bathroom installs, as well as breast pumps. And my main thing that I worked on all summer was with breast pumps. So I went to a bunch of doctors' offices and was marketing the breast pumps, just kind of letting them know through this new act after Obama was out of office that was created, that basically allows most insurances to cover the full cost of breast pumps. And a lot of people don't know that. So they were just going to like, Best Buy or Target and paying like the full outright price of like however much it is. They range from about $150 to about $350 for breast pumps. So I would give them brochures and magnets, just kind of trying to get our name out there, which is something that I really enjoyed because it's something that I like really wanted to do. I've always wanted to work in the medical industry, I would say. It's something that interests me. So at first I started going to doctor's offices, and then it kind of slowed down where they were like, maybe you shouldn't go into doctor's offices. So I started calling and mailing, which was interesting because I was able to reach out to a like farther demographic. So I was reaching out to like health counties in like past Syracuse and up near Saratoga, and even down near Pennsylvania. So there were a bunch of counties that I wouldn't be able to have been physically there, but it was nice that I was able to connect with them over the phone and email and such like that. So I would send them kind of informational things on breast pumps, and the fact that we shipped our breast pumps was really helpful because there were a lot of people in like WIC programs that I reached out to that weren't around Rochester to have that come and pick up and figure out which one they wanted. So I would kind of give them the background on each of the breast pumps that we had and which one I recommended for the type of insurance that they had, because some of them had insurance that wouldn't cover certain breast pumps, and not fully, but usually it covered about $150 to $200 of it, and then you'd have to pay the extra out. So yeah, I worked in the office most of the time. I was on the computer a lot, just kind of keeping track of all of the connections that I was making with the different hospitals, doctors' offices, WIC programs. And I even reached out to a couple of like local Rochester doulas who are, it's basically like a mother's class. So like they'll teach you how to like breastfeed and about natural birth and like certain things about, so it was nice to kind of reach out to those people because I didn't really know that those things even existed. So it gave me more of like a knowledge, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So could you tell me a little bit more about the protocols? So you said that you were working in office. So could you tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about how that was with the whole COVID situation that we had going on this past summer?
Yeah, so with the protocols at work, we obviously always had to wear a mask wherever we were, especially around the customers. I mean, at some points when I was just in my office alone, I had my own office. So it was nice. I was able to kind of relax and take off my mask if needed to. But then when I went out on the main floor, I'd obviously have to put that back on. And we usually didn't have more than 7 people in the store, 7 customers at a time. It is a pretty big store, so we were allowed more. But I think for the safety of everybody, they limited it to 10 people in the store at a time, and it never was really an issue because there was never really more than about 5 to 7 people there at a time.
Did
Yeah,
you
I
guys
mean,
have to have anybody work remotely, or were you all in the office?
yeah, for the most part, we were in the office just because, like the warehouse guys are all installs, so they were still going to people's houses, obviously with like masks and stuff. That's what they did. Um, and then we also had like a curbside pickup, so you could call and order whatever you needed. Like some people just will get compression stockings, let's say, and they get them every 6 months, so they would know exactly what kind they needed, and they would call and order it, and then we could have it ready for them, and they would just either call when they're outside or they could come in and pick it up, whichever worked for them better. And we would just bring it out to them and they would prepay for that. So that was nice. We didn't have to handle with any cash or any credit cards of people who weren't actually coming into the store. Um,
So just to
but
get a little bit of background, so your place wasn't just an office, it was also a storefront as well, right?
yeah, so it was a storefront, but there were a lot of like offices just kind of elsewhere. Like there were different offices because I was in my own office, but then like all the customer service people had their own office together, as well as there was like an area out front, like a front desk area that they would sit. And then we had an orthotist who did like braces and stuff, and he had his own office. So it was a storefront as well as an office. And there were a few people working remotely. So like the accounting billing lady who did all of our payroll and obviously all that kind of stuff for the company, she was only in like 2 or 3 times a week, and the other 2 days that she was because it's Monday through Friday, the other 2 days she was working remotely, which was nice for her because I only saw her a couple days a week.
So business standpoint, did it make it difficult at all with her not being in the office, or did you guys not really see a disadvantage of her being at home?
No, I don't think that there was a disadvantage of much, just because we were able to, all of our like payroll stuff was done online, so she was able to access that pretty easily. We did it through, not Paychecks, there's another one.
USA payroll?
No, I can't think of it. It starts with an
Doesn't
A.
matter. Yeah. Okay.
Either way, so she did it through remotely, which was fine because we entered all of our payroll stuff online anyways. But I think that it was probably useful for her to come in to kind of see like the daily sales and whatnot. But for the most part, everybody was pretty much in office. Just with the orthotist was in at Monday through Saturday, just because he had appointments all through that people would come in and get fitted for braces, and a lot of the time doctors would have to write prescriptions and stuff, so it was nice to kind of just be there to have like the files open, I'm sure, and see their files, so then you weren't like at home, let's say, scrambling to figure out like, oh, what was this person prescribed and like at what rate is their insurance going to cover it.
Okay.
So in that sense, I think it was nice for them to be in office.
That makes a lot of sense. And obviously, being a medical supply company, you were one of the essential businesses. So, do you think that you guys saw any sort of increase in sales or decrease in sales, or people coming into your shop or not coming into your shop just because of everything that was going on with the virus? Could you give me any insight in that?
Yeah, so we did a lot of N95 sales, like masks, N95 mask sales. That was like our main. We were always, my boss Amanda was constantly reordering new masks and stuff, and they came in like a pack of like 5, or you could just buy one. A lot of hand sanitizer, stuff like that. But I also feel like a lot of people took this time during COVID to kind of, let's say, make their lives a little bit healthier. So they would come in, and we have certain things like CBD gummies, and I told you about the shoes and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say that there was a decrease. I think definitely an increase in sales, but a lot of people were probably very hesitant to come into the store just because of the whole COVID thing. But yeah, I would say an increase in sales with us being able to sell masks. And it was nice to get customer input because there were a couple places that we ordered from for the masks that, customers didn't really like. So they would come in and we would try another company to order from. So in that sense, I would say, yeah, we definitely saw an increase in sales with COVID just because we were selling the things that were needed with, like, let's say gloves or, the masks. So that was really nice as well.
So, one last question. Did you guys have a curbside pickup already implemented before this past summer, or is that something that you did because of COVID?
I believe we did it because of COVID. I don't think that that was an option before. And I had started working late May, so I didn't really know much about them before I had started working there. But from what I understand, they had just recently set up a curbside pickup because they had like this shelf with all the names, and you were able to Like let's say someone called and they'd be like, okay, I'm outside, I have this compression socks, whatever it is, and it's under this last name. So we would go over to the shelf and see and make sure that they paid for it and then be able to bring it out for them. So it was definitely something that they implemented because of COVID, which I think is a very smart idea because a lot of our customers were elderly people just coming in for, their monthly meeting with the orthotist or coming in to get new compression socks, which you have to have replaced every 3 months. So it was definitely a, I would say, just a benefit for our company because we were able to provide more for those people who maybe didn't want to come into store.
Great. Well, thank you very much for all the information and taking the time to talk to me, Sabrina. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Sean.
All right. Talk to you later.